Well, there are really three reasons. One is our SACS, our accreditation reaffirmation. Every 10 years, a university goes through, has to have their accreditation reaffirmed.
Right.
And it is the most important thing that a university does, is to maintain its accreditation. It's a long process. It will not end until this coming December. And I don't think we should have any juggling of the leadership during that. We got a sterling review. We got a 98 out of 100, if you had to put a number on it, 2 days ago when the site review team left.
Okay.
Our compliance review, which we report, which we put out, excuse me, we submitted in September, was very well received, and I think it's important to maintain this as the leadership in the university until then. That's the first reason.
I see.
The second reason is the metrics. As you know, last year we were on the bottom, performance funding metrics. This year we're number 5, and we need to smooth it out. We put our shoulder to the wheel, did a lot of things this time, but now we're edging up into the excellence category, and it takes a new strategy. I think I and the Provost Saunders and the senior administration need to stay put until we get this smoothed out more, until we stop this going up and down. It really is related, Carlton, primarily to practices and policies that we had for 40 years that were aimed at letting students find their own way, not pushing them. The less structure is better. Change your major as many times as you want, and we made it easy. In order to be more structured, which I think is a good thing, in order to be more structured and make sure our students are on more of a dedicated path to graduation by 6 years if possible, we had to put policies in place and practices in place. It's happening all over the country, but it's happening here. And so it's working, and we need to make sure that it continues to work. And another year or so of developing strategy to smooth that out for the next president is important. And the third reason is football. That will be the end of our first football season in December of 2016. And football is not easy. It's fun, it's great, we're going to do it, but it takes someone that is dedicated to seeing it to fruition. So those are my three reasons. I will have two choices. I can step down and go into retirement, work on my bucket list, go back to the farm. That is one option. I'll have two options. The other option is to come back to the faculty in a slightly different way than I thought I would before, and finish the book that was interrupted and the research that was interrupted when I suddenly became an interim for only 9 months. And so I feel a sense of responsibility that I have. If you're lucky enough to concentrate your research for your career on a relatively narrow and yet unexplored previously research topic, which is early Spanish period, Spanish colonialism in Northwest Florida, its ties to Mexico, not Cuba and Spain. I did a lot of original research on the baseline research, we call it, on that subject. I have published on all the different projects we did. I presented papers. I was active in it. But what I hadn't done, which is what academics have a responsibility to do, is to pull it all together and to offer my explanations and interpretations of what happened, why it happened, and what it means.
I see.
And I haven't done, it's called a seminal work, and I was about 70% done with that when I answered the call. I'd like to finish that. If I don't, no one else can or will. And so I'm going to choose, I probably will choose to do that.
I see.
I want to come back as if I do, you take a year off to retool. I haven't been to an archaeology meeting in 7 years. Then come back as a research professor with a graduate student to help me to teach max 1 course a year, tie up my research. 3 years at a time. I probably won't go any more than 3 years. So I'll weigh those two things. I also could work casually on the book in full retirement also. So that's going to be my decision. I want to take the retirement because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I do, but that tug of responsibility is there.
Right.
So my bet would be I'll complete that and then leave with a clear conscience. For me, it takes concentration.
Yeah.
It's for me. Writing is not easy, as you well know, and it hasn't come easy for me. But I know how to do it, and I know how to get an editor. But actually, the thinking part of it does take. I need quiet. I need to have a good research assistant, and I need to just get up to speed.
Sure.
I know I can do it.
Yeah.
I need to have my health. So far, so good. I need to have enough energy. I think with a couple months rest, I'll get my energy back.
I bet you will. Do you think going forward?
The answer is yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
What we really canceled was putting out a request for proposals or an intent to negotiate, is anyone interested, the way it was written. We just felt we had enough on our plate. The economy is coming back, and what we did is we pushed it from the front burner to the back burner.
I see.
It's still, in my opinion, the best thing that we can do with that parcel, that part of our property. But Balfour Beatty did the study. They said it didn't look real good the way it was structured, and it's just kind of cool for a while. But it is not canceled in terms of we'll never do it. I think it's a great idea.
Still.
It's a temporary delay given the climate in the state for financing.
Right.
It has changed.
Private and public? Or?
Yes, the public-private partnership financing has gotten extremely more complicated and controlled since I became president and when we formed BEI. A lot of opportunities and financing methods were stopped. I'm not saying for the wrong reasons. Governor Scott wanted to lower our debt. He did. That means no bonding. He wanted to make sure that, whenever a university enters into a partnership with a private company, what if that partner fails? What if they go bankrupt? Who is left holding the bag? At the end of the day, it is the state. What if the university goes bankrupt? One never has, but if they ever do, the state is liable. So taking to the sort of the overcompensating for the amount of debt we had and wanting to reduce it, it has been very difficult.
I see.
I think it's a great idea, but the financing rules, regulations, what will or will not be approved have changed to make it very difficult. I think it's a good move in the long run. In the short run, last year wasn't a great year, but I think we're going to have a good year this year. Who wouldn't play golf on a Friday afternoon like right now? That's right. So it's good, but we have to turn, BEI has to turn the golf course around so that it doesn't cost us money.
Right.
And I think we will. We're searching for a new vice president now of business and finance, and who will be the CEO of BEI also. And we just need someone to take care of it with a good business sense, and we'll hold on until then. Not a dime.
Not a dime.
Not a dime. Nope.
So you're
What we'll do is we will, in the 1st of May, we will start on the competition field. And we will build the field, we will build the infrastructure for the athletic facility. Yes, we do. We have the money for that. Then hopefully we're counting on more private donations than we ever thought we would. We're going Dr. Kelly is raising money for the building now also, and we hope we'll be able to finance it in just 1 year later and break ground next summer, so we'll be ready for the fall of 17. Well, the train has left the football train has left the station.
Yeah, you're not.
It is.
You're not
and I gave Coach Shinnick my word that we would find a way as soon as we can to do what he needed to have done for his football program. This is not the first program he started. This is the third. He knows nothing winds up as planned. When's the last time Plan A worked?
Yeah.
I don't remember. This is Plan F or G, and we will find a way to do it. I know, and you know, that persistence will get you there, and flexibility.
That's right.
Well, it's not the enrollment that's down. The enrollment is flat. What's down are student credit hours, the number of courses students are taking. That's down 10%.
I thought the numbers of juniors and seniors were down as well.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. The numbers of juniors and seniors are way down, but overall, when you look at our bottom line, we're within 100 of where we were this time last year.
And that's including your online.
Oh, yes. Everybody, the students in Fort Walton, online, the part-time students, all the students.
So students are just taking fewer hours. Is that because of the cost, or I mean, if you sort of drill down?
A little bit. We're going to have the Haas Center do a serious analysis of it this summer, but when the study they have done, it is money. What happens is, and this is where it affects, sorry about that, juniors and seniors, is that students only get so much financial aid. There's a limit to the state financial aid. And what happens is a lot of times they spend too much of it at their freshman and sophomore years. So they run out when they are a junior or a senior. Well, they don't want to go into debt or take on more debt, so they go to work and they take fewer hours. That's one reason. Second reason is they want to live closer to home, and they will live with a relative to cut down their costs and will go to a university there. The third reason is they will go to a state college and take a major, get a bachelor's for half the price. And what it is not is UWF. Everybody says, UWF's great. I just can't afford to take any more courses. I'm out of financial aid. We have been remiss in not managing financial aid, students' financial aid, at all.
Oh, really?
It has been first come, first serve until a couple of years ago. And when we brought in Dr. Gaiman and Provost Saunders, they took a look and said, oh my goodness. And so now we have the performance metrics. So what we're doing with financial aid is we are being much more strategic with it. For example, who gets financial aid as a freshman and sophomore? Well, let's just say freshman. The ones that get it are the ones that meet our profile for student success. Okay? We are keeping money back and not giving it all out in the beginning of the year and saving it for helping students graduate. When they run out of money, we'll give them a grant, or we will save it and string it out longer and give them some each year instead of give it all. That's right. So we're managing our financial aid much better and much more productively in terms of graduation than we ever have before. And that's part of the performance funding metrics. You know, are you going to let students in the door and give them money that have a low chance of graduating? No. You're going to give them what you can, you're going to help them, but you need to focus because it means millions of dollars to the institution on students who will graduate. Now, we haven't changed our admission standards, but there is a profile and we know what it is, and then we need to keep some in reserve for students who really do run out and all they need is a little money to graduate.
Get that graduation.
That's why we raised our 6-year graduation rate 9 percentage points in 1 year.
You think?
And you know, it's funny, it wasn't much. It didn't take much. But when you're at that age, you know, when you're 21, 22, 23, $1,000, it may as well be $1 million if you need it, or even $500. So my car broke down and I can't afford to, you know, to pay for it, and I live in Cantonment and I just can't get to campus. Well, how about a grant? Not a loan, we'll give them a grant. We have financial aid and we save it and we give it to those who are completing. Higher education, because of that, has really changed. When, I guess it was about the 70s or 80s, what really happened was the rules and structure in loco parentis, we call it, that universities and colleges had, dorm mothers and by a certain time, and you graduate in 4 years and you take 15 hours, it was block tuition. It went do your own thing. Come in, take some courses, change your major, make it easy, nobody's going to tie, you know, find your path, don't rush, and boy, you know, as things change, it changes very quickly.
Yeah.
And so it is, that's the way it is. Now, so we have performance metrics, which are based on outcomes, which mean millions of dollars, and then we have our quality measures, which is what our accreditation agency, SAC, Southern Association, does. We just are in the middle, or towards the end of that accreditation. All they care about is quality. Your professors, your courses, your finances, your support services, your administration, they care about quality.
Yeah.
So we have two, and we're doing fine at both of them, but we had to kind of retool on the outcome. Seeing it move forward.
That's what keeps you going.
I think our community relations are so much better than they were before in many ways. I think that we've changed the culture a bit from the little college in the woods that looked inward and didn't care about its environment, kind of sort of the black box, to one that is outward looking and a part of the community. And I think we're beginning to be an economic driver, and that greatly gives me a lot of satisfaction. Well, two things. I think the changing financing really stopped a lot of things we were planning on. That's been very disappointing. I understand it, but it really. Yeah. And the other is the disconnect between some of the faculty leadership and with what we're doing. It basically, you know, it is. I was a faculty for 28 years. And I understand what being a faculty is, and it's been disappointing. I think we'll fix it. We're going to move on, and you've got to have thick skin in this job. Yeah, you do. Yeah. Community relations is one. Yes, I do.
That had been for decades
a problem.
Issue. I know that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I think politically. And with our relations in Tallahassee, we're much better. We've tripled our budget from the legislature during my presidency. We had a $40 million budget from the state when we came in, and it's $118 million now. Wow. I'm very proud of that.
Very tough.
Yes, that's right. Now it's been earmarked for academic programs. It hasn't been to our operations, but it's in the House.